So there's a famous quote attributed to Winston Churchill, and it says, "If you're going through hell, keep going." You know, so I think we've been here for 9 months, and it's been tough. And you know what? I know a lot of businesses that are on the verge of bankruptcy. A lot of individuals have lost their jobs, and it's tough. And I feel sorry for those people. You know, we're having a tough time as well. But one thing I want to get into is the concept of suffering. You know, it's tough. During this pandemic, it has given me an opportunity to read a little bit more. And one of the first books I went back to when this whole thing started is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. And there's a little bit about suffering in that book. And it says, you know, when you find meaning in your suffering, the suffering ceases to be. Nietzsche has also talked about when you can figure out your why, you can get through anyhow. And even Buddhism itself, you know, the concept, the purpose of life is to suffer, because when you're suffering, you're growing. And so I think what has happened during this time is that there's a lot of reflection on our businesses, on what's the purpose.
Well put.
What are we doing? And there's a lot of actually, so when we talk about suffering and we try to find a purpose of it, I think we're trying to turn a negative into a positive. And I think one of the things we can do in this instance is to find the positives of this pandemic. And I think for me, you know, we've automated a lot of our business that we were kind of doing like pen and paper before. So this has helped our business in that way. We're doing things differently. Last weekend we had a test. We tested over 47 people or something like that. And you know, we broke it down into hourly, and we had approximately, you know, online and in person about 10 average per hour. And it was one of our best tests. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, we would have never tried this. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we never would have gone online. So a lot of stuff has happened that has changed our way of doing business. A lot of self-reflection, a lot of figuring out who we are and how we can do things better. If you're going through hell, don't stop. You know, it's the worst place to be. Keep going. And I think we're starting to see, with the vaccines coming out, some light at the end of the tunnel. So we're excited for, you know, the spring and what's going to happen.
Yeah, right on.